People that have not experienced narcissist, I'm going to continue, narcissistic abuse cannot understand why we refuse to listen to them once they've been cut off. I had someone the other day, a friend of mine, say, just listen to them, just listening to them won't hurt. I was like, oh, yes, listening to them, actually listening or hearing their voice can hurt you a great deal and trigger you a lot to the point where it will move you into substance abuse, suicide at times, just hearing a voice that sounds like theirs. Seeing someone who has the same glasses that they used to wear can trigger you and throw you into such a traumatic state that it takes therapy to recover. Now, listening to that person talk to you and lie to you for the 20th, 50th, millionth time, knowing that they're lying and they're just looking to do the same thing again because they've done it literally for years, over and over again for years. Giving them that satisfaction and knowing that you're doing that for them for satisfaction, that they're lying to you, yes, absolutely. Listening to them, hearing them out can absolutely cause a great deal of harm to you. I've dealt with people who've told me, despite hearing what I had to say and knowing my background, knowing I was beaten multiple times a day as a child, I wasn't allowed to go to school, that I was malnourished, telling me that my parents did the best they could. There are two types of people who will say this. Either people who weren't really listening to what I'm saying and they cannot comprehend what it's like to want the worst for your child and not want the best and not care about them, or people who are sympathetic towards narcissistic abusers, which means that they are one and you don't want anything to do with them. Don't allow these people to pressure you into causing harm to yourself by having any type of contact with your narcissistic abuser. None. I'm alone now. I got no family. My holidays are always alone. You know what? Completely fine. Completely 100% fine compared to spending it with such horrible, evil people that every second with them is absolute torment and for them to only rip me down. I'd much rather have a holiday with none of them in my life because it's so much more loving than having them there for my holiday. And if you're watching my channel, you probably know what I'm talking about. Do what's best for you. Sometimes you deal with a little bit of loneliness. It's way better than having that person in your life. I remember my ex-wife once said, "Look, and this was after years of manipulation by her, me telling her she had to get a therapist, she had to get a spec scan, she had to get, I bought her a car, she had to get a job, she had to have a life, stop staying home and playing video games. And after her saying no, 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 and refusing to work on her marriage, she would say things like, I'm willing to work on this if you are. I'm like, we're way, way, way past that. What are you talking about? And one night when we were lying in bed, it was one of the last times I was in the same room that she was in, where I had had enough and I started sleeping on the couch till she attacked me. I started sleeping on the floor in my study. It was a hard floor, and I still was afraid she was going to knock down that door and kill me or something. She scared the shit out of me. She was an awful person. But she said, look, I don't want to be alone. I know you don't want to be alone. I said, I'd much rather be alone than to be with you. And what scared me was the fact that she thought, oh, well, we don't want to be alone, so we could just be miserable together. She once told me before that she didn't want a happy life. She wanted someone to suffer with life and be miserable together with. She said that to me after our I think, third year of marriage when I was like, there is no way. There's no possible way at all that this can at all be salvaged or saved. But I would never allow that person back in my life. and her manipulation of thinking that I was so afraid and scared to be alone. Remember, the narcissist is very, very fragile, and they're terrified of two things: not having attention and being alone in life. As a matter of fact, when they insult you, they'll say the same things. They're going to tell you that you're unloved and no one loves you and stuff like that, because to them, that's the most harmful thing that can be said, even though it's just like, what are you, 12? Actually, just had a guy the other day, Universal Transport, because I reported his driver for breaking so many laws. He started yelling at me, saying that no one loves me and this and that. I was thinking, this guy is telling me he's a narcissist. He doesn't even realize it. And then starts talking about how I'm on the internet on TikTok trying to get famous, trying to get TikTok. And he said I was trying to get TikTok famous, seriously, maybe around 100 times during that phone call, yelling, shouting over me. He needed the attention. He couldn't listen to me, and I needed attention, and I was going to be alone, and all this stuff about me because he was projecting all that. And you'd be surprised how quickly a malignant narcissist, an abusive narcissist, will jump to something like that, like rapidly, quickly. Because to them, these little things to them is everything. They need attention. They want everyone to pay attention to them. They think about, you know, I mean, you'll see a lot of these people in business and run companies too, and they'll do a very poor job at it because they think about being power, power, power. And out here in areas like the Midwest, they make it because there's no laws or anything that have to be obeyed in the Midwest. You think that that guy's ex-wife or girlfriend or whatever would want him in her life? They always they're always gambling on you needing not needing to be afraid of something. My ex-wife always told me that I was going to be alone, and we're pretty soon we were going to reach our golden years, and that was like she said that 7 years ago. We were still in our 30s, so our golden years are just around the corner, and this and that. And she'd be yelling at me in the middle of the night, and I grabbed my chest because I was trying to sleep, and then she'd see an anxiety attack coming, and then she'd just go like this. She'd do that. She'd do this weird smile grin thing. It was weird, man. It's because she viewed me as something to control, to torment, to give her a feeling of power. And remember this: the nicer, the kinder you are to a narcissist, the more they're going to lash out at you. If you're very calm and cool with them too, this is very common in the Midwest. I'll call someone up with an issue. They'll try and turn it into a fight. I say calm and cool it. I've done it with police, with people who run restaurants and crap like that, reporting bad truck drivers, like tons of companies out here reporting truck drivers where they're yelling over me. And I'm like, okay. I was like, once you're done, I'm going to finish telling you this because I think it's important. And they get so livid that they're not bothering me, that they're blowing up even more. They cannot handle it. That will get worse if you're nice to them. So just know that. Know that there's no way for you to win with a narcissist. And if you're completely unhappy and destroyed, that's when they feel satisfied. You're not allowed to have any good feeling or good emotion around them. You cannot do it. So protect yourself, man. Protect yourself from that narcissist. Remember, if people have not experienced it, don't listen to them. They don't understand. They think that, oh, just listen to them. No, no, no. And I've had people too. Just apologize to this very harmful narcissistic person who abused you because it's just words. Like with a narcissist, the things you say is everything. Everything. If you apologize to them and they're like, haha, I harmed you and you were forced by other people and peer pressure to apologize to me anyway after I did to you, that's the power and control I have over you. That is everything to them. So avoid them, protect yourself from them, never try and contact them again, and never pay attention to anything they say. My ex-wife, I have sent her messages on how terrible she was and how horribly she treated me. I've never, ever read anything that she sent me. Ever. Just don't care. But, yeah. Protect yourself, man, and don't let other people tell you what to do. You know what's best for you. And intentionally putting yourself in harm's way, it's a bad call.